Just what are microgreens? Why have they become popular? And are they worth the hype they are receiving? This video will go over exactly what microgreens are and why they're definitely worth your attention. Also, I'll discuss how they were grown, what makes them different from other vegetables, and why they are actually practical to grow indoors instead of outside. Setup is surprisingly easy, and microgreen operation is endlessly expandable. With food prices what they are, it has never been a better time to grow your own food, especially from the comfort of your own home. Does this all sound too good to be true? Well, let's get into the video and find out the facts. What are microgreens? Microgreens are vegetable greens, or immature vegetable plants. Not to be confused with sprouts or shoots, microgreens are harvested after the plants have developed one set of true leaves. They are used as a nutrition supplement, a visual enhancement, and a flavor and texture enhancement. Microgreens are used to add sweetness and spiciness to foods. Microgreens are smaller than baby greens because they are harvested very soon after sprouting, rather than after the plant has matured and produced multiple leaves. Among upscale grocers, they are considered a specialty genre of greens, good for garnishing salads, soup, sandwiches, and plates. They can be used as a main vegetable as well in certain recipes, and for adding flavor and nutrition. Many recipes use them as a garnish, while some utilize them as a main ingredient. For example, garlic pea shoots are micro cabbage in cabbage soup, or coleslaw made with radish microgreen instead of cabbage. As microgreens become more popular for their strong flavor and nutrition, chefs and cooks create new ways to use them. Edible young greens are produced from various kinds of vegetables, herbs, or other plants. They range in size from about an inch to 3 inches, including the stem and leaves. The stem is cut just above the soil line during harvesting. Growing. Microgreens are generally described as being an easier plant to grow, but may have complications ranging from preventing and managing fungus or mold growth to providing the right nutrients and growing media to the plants in order to ensure a quality produce. Many small backyard growers have sprung up selling greens at farmers markets or restaurants. A shallow plastic container with drainage holes, such as a nursery flat or prepackaged salad box, will facilitate sprouting and grow out on a small scale. However, for commercial scale growing, specific trays better suited to growing and supporting microgreens are used. For an average person, microgreens can be grown as easily as buying seeds of an appropriate plant, such as broccoli or radish, getting an inexpensive tray, usually called a 10-20 tray, and a bit of potting soil. Microgreens can be grown in a few weeks with a budget light and very small space, making it a very easy hobby to get into. Perfecting the craft will require better equipment and a bit of trial and error, but to get started, it couldn't be easier or cheaper to jump in and give it a try. Nutrition. Researchers at the USDA Agriculture Research have published, as of 2014, several studies identifying the nutritional makeup and shelf life of microgreens. 25 varieties were tested, with key nutrients measured being vitamin C, vitamin E, K, vitamin A, plus other related vitamins and nutrients. Among the 25 microgreens tested, red cabbage, cilantro, green radish had the highest concentrations of vitamin C, K, and E, respectively. In general, microgreens contain considerably higher levels of vitamins, about 5 times greater than their mature plant counterparts. Microgreens compared to sprouts. Sprouts are germinated or partially germinated seeds. A sprout consists of a seed, root, and stem, while microgreens are harvested without the roots. Microgreens have stronger flavors compared to sprouts and come in a wider selection of leaf shapes, textures, and colors. Microgreens are grown in soil or soil-like materials such as peat moss. Microgreens require high light levels, preferably natural sunlight with low humidity and good air circulation. Microgreens are planted with very low seed density compared to sprouts. Crop times are generally 1 to 2 weeks for most varieties, although some can take 4 to 6 weeks. Microgreens are ready to harvest when their leaves are fully expanded. Harvesting is usually with scissors cutting just above the soil surface, excluding any roots. Some growers sell them while still growing, rooted in a growing tray so that they may be cut later. Once removed from their growing environment, these trays of microgreens must be used quickly or they'll rapidly deteriorate, losing color and flavor. Sprout seeds are soaked in water, usually for 8 hours, and then drained. A high density of seed is placed inside of a sprouting equipment or enclosed containers. The seed germinates rapidly due to the high moisture and humidity levels that are maintained in the enclosures. Seeds can also be sprouted in cloth bags that are repeatedly soaked in water. The sprouting process occurs in dark or very low light conditions. After a few days of soaking and repeatedly rinsing in water several times a day, the processing is complete and the sprouts are ready to consume. The conditions that are ideal for properly growing microgreens do not encourage growth of dangerous pathogens. These growing methods would not work well for the production of sprouts. The history. Microgreens began showing up on chefs' menus as early as the 1980s in San Francisco. In South California, microgreens have been growing since the mid-90s. Initially, a few varieties were offered. Those usually available were arugula, basil, beets, kale, and cilantro, with a colorful mixture of those often called a rainbow mix. Having spread eastward from California, they are now being grown in most areas of the United States, with increasing numbers of varieties. Today, the U.S. industry for microgreens consists of a variety of seed companies and growers. Quick summary and conclusion. What is so great about microgreens? Microgreens are cheap to grow. They require a bag of seeds and an inexpensive tray, a bit of water, and a small plant growing light. Space requirements are minimal. Microgreens also grow quickly. They can be harvested within a few weeks of the date of planting. Microgreens are incredibly nutritious, potentially up to 5 times greater than a full-grown plant. They also taste incredible. Their taste is very sharp and powerful compared to a full-grown plant. Microgreens make excellent toppings for other food and an amazing meal within themselves. They can be grown completely indoors, and the environment they grow in can be controlled. Pests can be eliminated, and sanitizing indoor areas can be easier than large outdoor areas. The word superfood gets thrown around a lot. Many different fruits, nuts, and shakes come and go, all claiming to be a superfood. But microgreens truly fit that definition. A superfood is defined as a nutrient-rich food, considered to be especially beneficial for health and well-being. A microgreen is literally a more nutrient-packed vegetable. There can be little doubt that a microgreen fits the bill of a superfood. There are no tricks here. A microgreen is literally just an immature vegetable. There is no guesswork as to what food you are eating, no chemicals to decipher or additives to figure out. A green is a green. Grown indoors, no pesticides are required. If you have to try just one new food this year, make it a microgreen, and your body will definitely thank you.